For numbers 8, 9, and 10, what we're trying to do is we're trying to partition a segment with the given ratio. So in order to partition a segment, there's two different formulas. The one that I like to use and the one that I use in class is x1 plus a over a plus b times x2 minus x1, comma, y1 plus a over a plus b times y2 minus y1. And you're trying to partition the segment, and your final answer will be a coordinate. It'll be the point that exists at the place that would partition your segment. So it says I'm trying to partition a segment WM at the ratio of 2 to 5, where W is here and M is here. So I've got my x1, y1, x2, y2, a, and b. So all I need to do now is plug all of this stuff into my formula. So my x1 is -4 plus a over a plus b. A is 2. Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote a. Sorry. A is 2. And a plus b is 5 plus 2, which is 7. And I'm going to multiply that by x2 minus x1. x2 is 3 minus x1, which is -4. And I'm just going to do that piece first. I'll write the whole thing, but then I'm just going to work with this piece in just a moment. So now I've got my y1, which is 2, plus, so this is not all just one long thing. This is actually two different pieces to our puzzle. It'll be a plus b, which we found to be 2 over 7. A is 2, a plus b is 7, times y2 minus y1. y2 is 9, y1 is 2. So looking here, I've got 3 minus -4. If I have minus and negative, those are going to become plus. So 3 plus 4 gives me 7. So this becomes 2 times 7, or 2 over 7 times 7. And then if we have 9 minus 2, that will also be 7. So we've got 2 plus 2 over 7 times 7. 2 sevenths times 7, you'll multiply 7 and 2 together, which will give you 14, and 14 over 7 is 2. So this whole thing over here becomes 2. You could also see that 7 and 7 cancel each other out, so you're left with 2. So -4 plus 2 gives me -2. And same thing over here. I could do 2 times 7 to get 14. 14 over 7 is 2. Or I could see that these 7s cancel out and I'm left with just 2. Either way, this whole part right here becomes 2, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So this right here represents the point that will partition segment WP at a ratio of 2 to 5. Again, think about a ratio being I've got 2 pieces on one side and 5 pieces on the other, and all the pieces are the same length. So 2 equal pieces, 5 equal pieces, so I've got 7 pieces altogether. So now if I'm looking at number 9, I'm partitioning the directed segment GM at point Q such that Q lies 2/5 of the way. If it's 2/5 of the way, that means I already have my fraction. I already have my a over a plus b, because I know it's 2/5 of the way. So my segment, I'm going to go 2/5 of the way, given that G is here and M is here. So this right here represents a over a plus b already, because it's not a ratio. It's that it's 2/5 of the way. 2/5 being there's 5 total pieces, and we're going to go 2 of them. This will be my x1, my y1, my x2, my y2. Now I'm going to plug it into my formula. x1 is going to be -2 plus a over a plus b, which I found to be 2/5. And then x2 minus x1. And then for my y's, it'll be y1, which is -3, plus 2/5 y2 minus y1. So 7 minus negative 3. This whole piece right here, 1 minus negative 2. 1 minus negative 2. Minus a negative becomes positive, so that becomes 1 plus 2, which is 3. So 2/5 times 3. Then I've got 7 minus negative 3. Minus a negative becomes positive, so 7 plus 3 is 10. So I've got negative 3 plus 2/5 times 10. Now, you can either put 2/5 times 3 in your calculator, or you can multiply 3 times the numerator. 2 times 3 is 6, so this becomes 6/5. So we've got negative 2 plus 6/5. 10 times 2 gives you 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Or you could take a 5 out of both of these, and this would be left as a 2. This would be a 1. So 2 over 1 times 2 equals 4. So then we have negative 3 plus 4, which will give us negative 1. Then what I recommend you do is you put 6 divided by 5 in your calculator, and you add negative 2. You get 0.8. You could put your answer as negative 0.8, or you can press math, press enter twice, and get negative 4/5. So negative 4/5, negative 1. And this is the point that is 2/5 of the way on the directed line segment GM. And finally, number 10. Move this up just a little. It says find the coordinate T such, oh my gosh, let me start over. Find the coordinates of point T that lies 1/3 of the way. So again, 1/3 of the way. If it's a third of the way, that means that there's 3 total pieces. We've gone 1 piece. So if I don't tell you it's a ratio and it's a third of the way, then this already takes care of our A over A plus B. That's taken care of already. On the direction line segment GA, where GA is G's here and A's there. If you were trying to use the other formula where you need A's and B's, you could find your B, because if A is 1 and 3 is 1 plus B, B must be 2. So you can find it that way if you need to. Then I'm going to use my formula and plug in what I know. This will be x1, y1, x2, y2. Now I'll do x1, which is 4, plus 1/3, which is A over A plus B, times x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is 4. And then y1 is 6, plus 1/3, negative 1 minus 6. And that's going to be my coordinate. If I've got 5 minus 4, that gives me 1. 1 times 1/3 is still 1/3. So this becomes 4 plus 1/3. Negative 1 minus 6 is going to give me negative 7. So this becomes 6 plus 1/3 times negative 7. Negative 7 times a third becomes negative 7/3. So you can do a couple things. You could do 4 1/3, or you could do 4 plus 1 divided by 3. It'll give you a repeating decimal. If it's a repeating decimal, I want you to leave it as precise as you can. So you press math, enter, enter, and you get 13/3. So you can leave it as 13/3, or you could leave it as 4 1/3. And then we're going to do 1/3 times negative 7. I'm sorry. 1/3 times negative 7. And it gave me negative 2.33333 repeating. I need to add 6 to that. Now I get 3.66666 repeating. Press math, enter, enter, and I get 11/3. This is the point that will be a third of the distance of that direction, of the directed line segment.